2008. So about a year after I moved to to Sydney. I had the 2 gyms, and I started looking on realestate.com because one of the great things about visualization and dreaming and vision boards is, that subconscious mind picks up visualization a lot. So I used to look at Noosa houses a lot. Just about every night at home, I'd get on real estate and start dreaming. At that stage, I was losing about $5,000 a month, so it was a big dream. But one of the houses that I saw up in Noosa was this beautiful big house, big pool, 9-bedroom house. And I said to Nicole, I said, check this house out. This is like my dream house. Absolutely love this place. So I printed out the pictures of this house and I put it up on my vision board. And I said, we can just get a house like that one day. We'll probably never get this one because it was $2.8 million it was. And back then, there was absolutely no chance of that happening. And so the vision board's gone with me for 3 Sydney houses. They've got tackered edges all around it. Some of the pages are ripped. But I pretty much kept the same pictures up, over the last sort of 8-9 years. Some of them have been replaced. That house came off realestate.com, about a year later. And I thought, someone's bought it. And about 6 months later, it went back on. And it was on sale for $2.4 million. And I said to Nick, check this house out. You remember my dream house? He's like, yeah, down to $2.4 million. He's like, well, that's still completely out of reach. And, then we moved house again and, we joined Jeunesse and things started to get better. And then all of a sudden the house was back on sale for $1.9 million. And I kept it on my vision board. And then we moved to Noosa and we actually drove past that house one day. And things started to pick up. I was dying. I said, that's not getting completely out of reach. And one day it got put back on realestate.com. Business was flying along, and just last week we bought that house. So, we didn't pay $2.9 million for it, or even 1.9. What we picked it up for was a great price, but that's the power that I believe is from doing these types of exercises, the vision board, the subconscious, putting goals down. Because if I haven't got an idea of what that looks like or what my house is, I'm zero chance of achieving that. Of course, I've got to go and put that into action with a business and work hard, earn some income. But once we earned that income as Jeunesse, as a dom, had some finances, I was able to make an offer on that house, a cash offer, and that got accepted. So we move into that in September, which is very exciting. But, to look at that house in 1998 and to buy it in 2016, I believe is kind of crazy. But it's amazing what you put out to the universe you can achieve. So let's fly through these other ones. I really wanted to spend a lot of that time on your subconscious because if you learn everything else but your subconscious is here, you got your little devil guy there, you've got to get rid of him. You've got to get rid of him in every aspect that you want to learn. Okay, so kind of picture that when you're trying to do something. Enough, gone. Okay, programmed in, you'll bring it about. Relationships are important as well. The more time I spent in network marketing, the more I saw the people that were enrolling with me were people that I had relationships with. So if you can start off with that area in a warm market, but if you can make your cold market warm, build relationships, that is the sole reason someone will join with you. Your relationship because they like you, they know you, they trust you. That's really important as well. Master the telephone. I've got a training on YouTube called Who Do I Talk To? Where Do I Find Them? And What Do I Say? And I think they're really 3 fair questions when you start in this business because you do need, do I talk to customers? Do I talk to business people? Male, female, young, old? So it covers that. And then where do we find these incredible business builders? So we talk about that. And then what exactly do I say to them? Because that can become important as well. But we want to be able to master the telephone. You can master everything else, but if you can't master the phone, I don't believe you've got enough to get to diamond. So make sure that's a point there. Master the art of prospecting. So where do I find these people? At networking events, LinkedIn, Facebook, in my warm market, in my cold market, real estate agents. You've got to master that art of prospecting continually. And Chris Cooper talked about it. You saw the last 3 months, the people that we've brought into the business have slowed right down. And that reflects everything. So if there's one thing I had to tell you to go and do would be do your subconscious work. But again, remember, you're not stopping everything to go and program your subconscious mind for the next 3 months. Please don't do that. Okay, do that at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning on top of. So that's extra time you're going to work on your subconscious on top of everything else. The number one thing you want to be doing is bringing new people into the business. Can we all commit to that?
Yes.
So the next 3 months when Chris Cooper pulls the report, okay, there's going to be a big arrow talking about new sign-ups. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, have posture. There's probably no one more that has posture than Dermy Brereton, right? Walking around with that strut. Okay, but you want to have the posture when you're talking to people. Susan Land spoke about it. If someone says, "Oh, is that network marketing?" If you answer that with, "Well, it's a kind of a new age twist on that. It's kind of not it's a little bit network." If you say it like that, they're not going to join. If someone says to me, "Oh, it's not network marketing," I say, "Of course it is. I wouldn't be ringing you with anything else." Why? Where have you been hiding the last 10 years? That's a big difference. Have that posture that you believe in the industry so much. Have posture within yourself. If you look at all the diamonds around there, everyone's got different strengths and weaknesses, but they all have posture. They all have belief and confidence when they're talking with people. Okay, and that comes from coming to events like this. Number 12 is you. Really, this is a hugely important one as well. People are joining you, and I'll prove that to you. If Oprah Winfrey or Richard Branson came here right now and got up on stage and said, "I have a business opportunity for you. First person up here on stage gets to be 50-50 in my new business." What would you guys do?
Kill each other.
Probably run up to stage, shake hands, sign the contract, and then ask what the business was. Okay, now picture that person at your workplace, that person from school, that no matter if they had the cure for cancer and wanted you to be their business partner, you'd say no. Can you picture that person? Now you can see what I mean. And so who you are and the best version of you is why people are going to join. So what is your star rating? And that's not about becoming a completely different person, being a fake person. That's just about growing. That's personal development. It's being the best version of yourself. So maybe it's coming out of your shell a little bit. Maybe it's improving on the phone. Maybe it's training your subconscious. It's all these different things, and that's why you don't become a diamond, in 6 months if you've never done this before. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot to improve on. There's a lot to learn and put into practice. Yeah, you feeling that?
Yep.
Okay, if you've done it before, it can be a lot quicker. Okay, but you, who are you? How do you dress? I mean, there's some real simple things. If you're wearing daggy clothes to meet someone for the first time, there's a little chance they're going to enroll. If you're looking sharp, if you're looking smart, if you present well, that's a big tick in the box. It's just small things about what is your star rating as a person. Belief, Susan talked about that. Belief in yourself, belief in the company, belief in the product. Really important. Leadership, okay? As you do all these things, you'll just become a better leader. Having that work ethic, being reliable, being professional. There's people that ask me to do a 3-way phone call that I don't even question because they know how to set it up, they know how to introduce, and I'm always put on the phone to a really quality person. Then there's other people that want me to do a call that I make them jump through a lot of hoops because often there's a uni student on the other end that goes, "What's this call all about?" "Oh, I don't even like money." Okay, so without being professional and I've done that call, don't worry. And I said, "No worries, this is not for you, bye." And don't be afraid to do that. But it's just about being that professional, reliable person that has that work ethic. You lead from the front. That's what leadership is, leading from the front. And you think about the way that you're acting today, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday. What's that reflecting for your team? Because whatever you do, they'll do. Okay, and it can all disappear pretty quickly until you get to certain levels. So you need to lead from the front with what you're doing. Be consistent with massive action. Action's not enough. So picking up the phone and doing a call, that's taking action. Picking up the phone and doing 10 calls that day is taking massive action. You need to take consistent, massive action in your business. And the thing that I always say to people, if you had to get one tattoo on your forehead to be successful in this business, would be no excuses. And quite literally, there are none. Literally, there are no excuses. I had people say to me over the week, "Oh, I can't be there." And I want to go back to them and say, "No excuses, I know that you can be there, but you got to fight your battles sometimes because there's no reason that anybody couldn't be here." It's all about priorities. Some people have more money than others. But if you really believe that Jeunesse can take you to where you want to go, and part of that is being here this weekend, wouldn't you extend your credit card, sell something, borrow something to be here this weekend to say that light bulb went off for me on Saturday, and 2 years later you're on stage as a diamond talking about that light bulb that went off at Jeunesse University is why I'm a diamond. Isn't that worth doing everything to get here? Aren't you going to go back and tell your teams you just had to be here, you missed a great day? How many people are we going to get in Sydney at the conference next year?
Woo! All of us.
How many?
All of us.
1 million?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that person. They're thinking big. Okay, so there are no excuses. I mean, there are things that happen to us in life that we can't control, yes? But it's how we react to them that we still have control over. Some people, it's easier than other people to build this business. Some people got all the time in the world. Other people got 5 kids, 5 businesses, and all sorts of things going on. So it's going to be easier or harder and different for everybody. But what it comes down to at the end of the day, if you can have a no excuse policy, you're going to be quite fine. Focus.